Hello my friends, and welcome back to another video where today we will be looking at 5 underrated characters that we could see in the upcoming Amazon Lord of the Rings TV series. I know that in my channel update video I said that the Council of Fans podcasts will be out on Fridays, but as I said at the bottom of that video, that schedule will be starting from next week. So without further ado, let's get right into it. In at number 5, we have none other than Cirdan the Shipwright. The character and role of Cirdan is not often spoken about regarding the Amazon show, and for any of you that don't know, Cirdan is one of the oldest, if not the oldest elf by the Second Age and events of the Lord of the Rings on Prime, and he was born during the Years of the Trees and around the First Awakening of the Elves in Arda. The unique aspect of Cirdan was his shipbuilding skills, hence the name Cirdan the Shipwright, and we already know due to the presence of Numenor, ships and the sea will be vital aspects of the show. But most importantly is his friendship with Gil-galad, the High King, which stemmed all the way from the First Age during their time in Valar before the Third Kinslaying. This friendship is continued into the Second Age, where Cirdan established himself at the Grey Havens, also known as Mithlond, and supported Gil-galad in his rule of the Kingdom of Lindon. So, what events does Cirdan have a massive role in? Luckily, whether we will see the mid-Second Age and the Forging of the Rings or the Tale of the Akalabath, Cirdan has a substantial role in both. During the mid-Second Age, from the Grey Havens, Cirdan often made contact and met Numenorians during their voyages, and even built a friendship with Annatar, who was the captain of the king's ships of Numenor. Maybe using the character of Cirdan to connect Middle-earth and Numenor together in the earlier seasons of the show would be ideal for Amazon, as I'm sure that at the beginning there will be 2 separate storylines happening at the same time and running alongside each other. Additionally, if we were to see the tale of Eldarion and Durendis, which of course isn't confirmed whether or not which period of the Second Age we're going to see, Cirdan supports and teaches Eldarion with shipmaking, architecture and many more sea-based skills. Crucially, Cirdan has a direct role to play in the events of the Forging of the Rings, where he initially, along with his companion Gil-galad, did not trust this Annatar, the Lord of Gifts, but of course this wouldn't matter as Annatar was still able to fool the great Iron in Originz. The rings were forged, elves betrayed, Sauron reveals himself as we all know, and then the 3 elven rings are hidden. Cirdan was given Narya, the Ring of Fire. Now, casting ourselves forward to the late Second Age, Cirdan was involved in the War of the Last Alliance and saw his companion Gil-galad fall and the failure of Isildur to cast the One Ring into the fire. Additionally, it's almost certain that we would see Cirdan at some of these big council meetings throughout the Second Age, especially the White Council meeting in 1701 of the Second Age. In at number 4, we have Narvi the Dwarf. I know there are many dwarf lovers out there, and one of the main named dwarves in the Second Age is Narvi. Even though not a lot is known about him, Narvi the Dwarf still has some interesting moments in the Second Age, especially with Celebrimbor, the Lord of Originz. Throughout the mid-Second Age, probably from the years 1100 to 1500 of the Second Age, Narvi and Celebrimbor established a close friendship. If Amazon want to show the internal and direct affairs around the region and how different races and kingdoms connect and communicate with each other. Showing this through Na'vi and Celebrimbor's friendship would be ideal. To optimize this friendship, Celebrimbor and Na'vi the dwarf together built the Doors of Durin in the mid-Second Age, and this creation stood the test of time and could be seen during the events of the Lord of the Rings, where the Fellowship had to divert their original path and go through the mines of Moria. So this could be an interesting moment in this show of the Doors of Durin being built. We have had an elf and a dwarf, so now let's look at a man. So in at number 3 we have a Númenórean, in fact which is Kiryata, the commander of the Númenórean ships in the mid-Second Age. Kiryata was a military and fleet commander and crucially came to the aid of Middle-earth during the War of the Elves and Sauron in the mid-Second Age. Númenor had summoned to the call of aid from Gil-galad, and swiftly the Númenórean fleet arrived at the shores of Middle-earth and especially the river Gwathlo. The Númenóreans' arrival under Kiryata resulted in heavy losses for Sauron's forces and a massive defeat at the Battle of the Gwathlo, where Sauron was pushed back. This began Sauron's hatred of the Númenóreans, where he was forced to retreat back to Mordor in around the year 1700 of the Second Age. In at number 2 we have Khamul, one of the 9 ring wraiths and an Easterling king for the majority of the Second Age. He was one of the 9 men that Sauron was originally able to corrupt in the Second Age, and he was in fact the second powerfulest ring wraith after the Witch King. During the Second Age, Khamul became the Lord and eventually King of Easterlings, and fully became one of Sauron's servants in the year 22,051 of the Second Age. He was also a powerful sorcerer and conjurer of magic. The backstories and history of the Nazgul is much anticipated by fans, and it would be amazing to not only see the backstory of the Witch King, but also of Khamul, while also at the same time gives the show a chance to explore the eastern regions of Middle-earth. Finally, in at number 1 we have Glorfindel, one of the most fan-favourite characters throughout Tolkien's Legendarium, and of course was removed from the Peter Jackson film trilogies. Some may call this justice, but I see this as a legitimate addition which could add much to the plot of the show. Seeing him appear once for fan service is alright I suppose, but I would much prefer to see Glorfindel incorporated into the events and storyline of the show. During the events of the fall of Gondolin in the First Age, Glorfindel sacrificed himself and fought off a Balrog to allow the escape from Gondolin, which had fallen due to Morgoth's forces. He then returned around the year 1600 of the Second Age, and presumably after the forging of the One Ring by Sauron, he was sent on a mission to aid Gil-galad, Elrond and the Free Peoples of the West against the growing power of Sauron. I am sure we will see many new and invented elven characters by Amazon in the Lord of the Rings TV series, so it wouldn't really hurt Amazon adding a fan-loved character that was factually and lore-wise around that time of the events of Lord of the Rings on Prime as well. Please let me know in the comments below which underrated character are you most excited to see in the Lord of the Rings TV series. Thank you guys for watching, I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, but until the next video my friends, goodbye.